Hi y'all, welcome to the Pleasant Grove channel. I'm Megan and I am so excited to start this journey. Let's be honest, I started thinking about doing something like this over a year ago, and I have spent that year putting it off and not listening to the prompting that I felt in my heart. So I have 4 kiddos, for those who don't know me, and we homeschool. We haven't always homeschooled. We have attended public school here and there. But over the last 2 years and all of the crazy, we've gone back to homeschooling, and honestly, that's best for our family. That's what we have chosen to do. That's what we felt led to do. We felt called to do. So that's where we are. That's what we do. 4 girls, and they are 14, 11, 8, and 2. So we have a wide range of ages, and that's fun and busy. It stretches me. It stretches me to the point where I'm running to cheer competitions and doing all the big girl stuff, and I'm still, making bottles and getting prepared to potty train, and so it's fun and it's busy. Sorry, a little interruption because I have 4 kids and they need me sometimes. So, our why. Well, I had mentioned that we've done public school, we've done homeschool, and I would say, like I said, we feel called to this. We feel led to this. I've had a lot of moms reach out to me over the last 2 years. Tons of moms, friends of friends, from all over the place, and I kept hearing the call in their heart to do the same. And my husband and I, Aaron, he started saying, you need to do something. You need to, you're always encouraging people. You're always inspiring people. And I was like, okay, I am a mess, and I don't have any certain plan. I know that's gonna sound crazy, but for those of you who think that this requires a very, what's the word I'm looking for? A very strict, laid out person, or a strict plan, or they know exactly what they're doing. No, everything changes from day to day. I think one of the things about homeschooling is that you have to be ready to roll with the punches. So changing things constantly and going with the flow. I mean, yeah, we have goals for the end of the year, or we have things that need to get done. Our kids need to know how to read. They need to know how to do math, right? I mean, those are just things that people need to know. History is important. That's a whole nother episode on my view on history and its importance, and it's important in entirety. It is important, all of it, and we'll do that on another subject or on another episode. But science is important. All these things are very important, but I think in homeschooling you realize that relationships, character, their heart, your children's heart, those are the things, right? Those are the things that take precedence over everything. So, does homeschooling require perfection? No. Does it require someone who's super type A and has everything planned out and knows exactly what she's doing? No. Does it require someone who has a teacher certificate and a degree? No, it doesn't. You're going to be told a lot of things, right? I mean, you're going to be told you're not enough, you don't know enough. The list could go on and on. Trust me. You can believe what you want to believe, but I really wanted to create this channel to inspire moms, inspire parents, moms and dads. You can do it. You can do anything. Your kids are worth it. They're more than worth it. They are. So, let me give you a little backstory. I told you our kids have public schooled and homeschooled. Throughout the last 14 years of being a mom, I have homeschooled a couple in each grade, or one of them throughout from preschool to 8th grade. So I have done all the grades up into 8th grade. And it's neat to watch the changes and the requirements and the growth through my kids. That's also something that I think as homeschoolers, we get to witness all of it, from potty training to learning how to read 3-letter words to flying through a huge chapter book, from counting. You know, I have my kids, we joke, I have my kids count butter beans. Those are their counters in the beginning, and going from counting butter beans to long division to pre-algebra. It's so neat to get to watch the ahas and the light bulbs go off. And I think that is one of the massive blessings of being a homeschooler, as a mom, and getting to see all of these things that our kids are doing and learning, and the connections that they can make. You know, we were sitting at a Mr. Gaddy's one night, and they had the movie Home, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen that, but there's a part in the movie where everyone starts to speak a different language and no one can communicate with each other. And one of our daughters, she said, Mom, she said, this is like the time that the people in Babylon, you know, all of a sudden they started speaking different languages, and no one could communicate with each other, so they all went off on their own in their own tribes. And I was like, because guess what? A couple weeks ago, we had that lesson, right? And there were kids doing somersaults across the floor. One was coloring, one had one of those fidget poppers, right? And I was sure that nobody was listening. Y'all, they were listening. And so it's neat to watch the connections go off in their heads. So I think that's just a massive blessing. So there's a couple books. I thought, well, on this video, I'm just going to introduce myself and kind of tell you our whys, and not so much a how-to, because those are to come. I'm excited to give y'all kind of a glimpse of what we do, how we do it, what we've done, why we don't do it anymore. Those are to come, right? But I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on books. If you are already homeschooling, you may not have read these yet. And if you are thinking about, or you're feeling that call to homeschool, these books they're going to be an encouragement, and they're going to be like just something that you can lean on and go, you know what, those feelings that I'm having, yeah. So one of our this one was For the Children's Sake by Susan Schaefer Macaulay. That was a complete game changer for me. So I've homeschooled a couple different ways throughout the year, and I know y'all, so in the homeschool world, just like all over the regular world, we like to put labels, right? We like to put labels on all kinds of stuff. And so you'll hear people say, oh, I'm a Charlotte Mason homeschooler. I am a Waldorf inspired homeschooler. You name it, there's a label for it. And so for those who are wondering, and they're like, wonder, so if you were to put a label on how we homeschool or what methodology we use, we're definitely a Charlotte Mason leaning / eclectic / I don't know if I'd say unschooler, but we are definitely delight directed, interest led homeschool. If you were going to put a label on us. So, For the Children's Sake by Susan Schaefer Macaulay, I would consider that a Charlotte Mason. I mean, she was in the Charlotte Mason world. She was a Charlotte Mason parent. That book was life-changing for how I viewed education, coming from a public school background. My husband and I, we both were in public school. He has an aunt who homeschooled her kids, and I remember thinking, wow, that is such a neat, homeschooling was foreign to me. Growing up, I didn't know anyone who was homeschooled. So that was really, she definitely lit a fire for me in the very beginning when Kinsey was born, because I saw just a different life that her kids were having, right? And learning and growing and thriving in a world that wasn't at public school. And I was like, wow. So that's, I think, when my heart started to stir for that. So that book, life-changing. Another one that we're huge, read aloud, The Benefits of Reading Aloud. That's going to have to come on another episode, because reading aloud changes lives. It changes hearts. It brain grow. There's just so much. I literally will have to do a whole, maybe a couple episodes on why reading aloud is so important for families, for kids, for everything. But we love Sarah Mackenzie, and this is the Read Aloud family. So while I am on Sarah Mackenzie, she also has a book called Teaching from Rest. I'll put it up here so you can see it. I listened to it on Audible. I don't have my copy with me. I've loaned it out. I read that book at least twice a year. Y'all, twice a year. I read it, and it is like honey to the soul. And she really talks about just leaning on the Lord and resting in His care to homeschool our kids, to educate our kids. That book's amazing. And yeah, so this is another one kind of along the lines of Teaching from Rest. The Unhurried Homeschooler by Dorinda Wilson. It's great. I read it. It's short, and she made it that way on purpose. She has a podcast, DorindaWilson.com. Y'all, she's wonderful. If there's anyone who can really encourage, it's Miss Dorinda. This one's great. Finished it in probably, I don't know, an hour. But this is another one that I will read twice a year. It's wonderful. I would say the Mother Culture. This is by Karen Andriola. And this one is more of, I don't know if I would say self-care, but it's good to show your kids, what am I trying to say here? It's a good book for encouragement to you, but also how to, it talks a lot about how the importance of mother culture, the importance of us learning and us studying and reading, and how that shows our kids that you're not just a learner from kindergarten to high school or college. You're a lifelong learner, and we hope that we inspire our kids to be lifelong learners. We don't want to just turn that valve off when they get their diploma. No, you're learning for the rest of your life. And I would hope that giving your kids a love for learning would help them to continue to keep that fire going their whole entire life. Another one that I would recommend, highly recommend, is Call of the Wild and Free. And I'll also put it up here. I listened to it on Audible, and it is really wonderful. And it also changes your perspective on the way schooling looks or should look. And The Brave Homeschooler, I'll put it up here as well. That's also a major encouragement. So those are my books. I've read all of those this year. And I'm working on a few others, and I will definitely do an episode to update you on what else I've read this year as for homeschooling encouragement, mom encouragement. I love to read. I read. I like to collect books. Finding time to read is a little tricky, right? Because, you see. So, what else? I'm trying to think what else. My sweet 14-year-old, she was like, Mom, just get on there and talk to people. Tell them about your life. Tell them about your kids. Tell them what encourages you. Tell them. And she is somebody that encourages me for sure. I'd like to end with, if you are feeling that stir and you are thinking that maybe this is what your family needs or what you want to do or you want to switch over to, I'm gonna link my email, and I would love to hear from everyone. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love recommendations on books that have encouraged you or helped you to help your kids. Yeah, I would love some recommendations. Also, if you could like this and subscribe so that you can see whatever we put out, whenever we put out, I would greatly appreciate it. And I pray blessings over your homes and over your lives. Thank you.